The Galactic Council Hall rose like a cathedral of iron and crystal, its vaulted ceilings hung with banners of a dozen empires. Marble floors glowed under suspended lamps that cast harsh light on the assembled generals. Their voices rolled like thunder, a chorus of pride and scorn aimed at a single absent species. High General Thrakesh stood on the central dais, a towering reptilian figure in ceremonial armor, scales polished until they gleamed like obsidian. His yellow eyes scanned the chamber, savoring the attention. "Humans," he declared, voice echoing across the galaxy through the broadcast channels, "have revealed themselves as nothing more than timid vermin. They cling to their fragile world, unwilling to face us in open combat. Cowards who hide behind treaties, excuses, and their laughable diplomacy." The audience roared with laughter. Mandibles clacked, wings rattled, and armored fists hammered the marble in rhythm. One general shouted, "Let them cower in their mud huts!" Another added, "Their ships are toys, their soldiers prey. Earth hides because Earth fears." The chamber erupted in chants, mocking words carried across 100 systems. "Cowards! Cowards!" It was theater designed to humiliate. The broadcast ended with Thrakesh raising his clawed hand in a gesture of triumph. "Soon," he hissed, "we will show them the price of weakness." Thousands of light years away, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, a room stood silent after watching the broadcast. The War Council of Earth sat around the long black table, their faces hard, lit by the glow of tactical holos. General Maddox broke the silence. His gravel voice carried the weight of 3 decades in uniform. "We send fleets, we lose them. We negotiate, they spit in our faces. They want us to crawl. What do we do?" The Secretary of Defense adjusted his glasses, weariness carved into his features. "We cannot outnumber them. Their fleets dwarf ours. Our colonies are vulnerable. A conventional war is suicide." An admiral leaned forward, voice low. "Then we don't fight as they expect." Eyes shifted toward him. The room held its breath. "We send the legends." For a moment, no one spoke. The words were heavy, like opening a vault best left sealed. Maddox's lips tightened. "Are you suggesting—" "Yes," the admiral interrupted. "Vas. Morozova. The myths the galaxy whispers about. If they call us cowards, let's remind them what our nightmares look like." The Secretary of Defense exhaled slowly, as if releasing something he'd been holding for years. "Unleash them." The decision was sealed. In a chamber without windows, darkness pressed close. The only sound was the slow rhythm of breath. A man moved through the blackness as though it were his element, blades flashing silver before vanishing again into silence. Each strike was precise, each motion a whisper of lethal intent. Elias Voss, known to enemies as the Boogeyman, did not need light. His hands remembered every motion. Former Navy SEAL, survivor of missions erased from records, he was more myth than soldier now. When the door slid open, white light spilled into the room. He froze mid-motion, knife at the ready. "Voss," Maddox's aide said quietly. "The council calls for you." The blade disappeared into its sheath with a click. No protest. No words. He simply followed, a ghost returning to duty. Half a world away, snow drifted gently across a cemetery in Moscow. Anya Morozova stood at the grave of her family, hands clasped behind her back. The granite headstones bore names cut by alien fire years ago, when raiders burned her village to ash. She wore no uniform, only a heavy coat, but the way she stood, shoulders squared, eyes unyielding, marked her as a soldier still. Spetsnaz once, then something else, something harder, forged in vengeance. Boots crunched over the snow. A messenger approached, hesitant as though disturbing a ritual. "Colonel Morozova. Orders from the War Council." Her gaze lingered on the headstones. "Finally." She turned, taking the orders without another word. The wind carried her whisper back to the graves. "They will pay." Hours later, deep inside the War Council chamber, the two legends met in silence. Voss leaned against the wall, unreadable, while Morozova stood rigid at the head of the table. Around them, Generals and ministers outlined the mission. The enemy thinks us weak, Maddox said. They call us cowards. They believe fleets and armies are the measure of strength. They will never expect what we are sending. You too will strike where it hurts most, their generals, their strongholds, their fleets. You will become the fear that tears their unity apart. A hollow map bloomed in the air, glowing red with alien strongholds across contested sectors. Targets pulsed like beating hearts. Morozova's jaw tightened. How many? As many as you can take before they break, Maddox answered. Her lips curved into something between a smile and a snarl. Vasa's eyes never left the map. His voice, quiet but sharp, cut through the room. No survivors. No one disagreed. The legends departed the chamber, boots echoing down the steel corridor. They walked side by side without speaking, two shadows cast from different pasts. Morozova broke the silence first. They think we're cowards. Vasa's reply was flat, stripped of emotion. They'll learn fear. The corridor lights flickered as they passed, as if even the walls knew what had just been unleashed. On alien worlds, the chant still echoed. Cowards! Cowards! Soldiers laughed, civilians mocked, propaganda spread. But beneath the laughter was a whisper, a rumor passed in hushed tones: Earth has monsters. The galaxy did not yet understand. It soon would. The alien dreadnought Koratha's spear drifted above the Cradle Nebula like a dark fortress. Its hull bristled with cannons, shields pulsed in rhythm, and thousands of soldiers patrolled its endless corridors. To the alien coalition, it was untouchable, a symbol of supremacy. No alarms sounded when Elias Voss slipped aboard. He moved through maintenance shafts, a wraith among steel and shadows. The oxygen in his suit was set to silence. No hiss of breath betrayed him. Every step was measured, weight distributed with precision so even the metal beneath him barely groaned. An engineer in a side corridor bent over a console. Voss dropped silently behind him, blade flashing once. The aliens slumped without a sound. Voss dragged the body out of sight, fingers already planting a charge beneath the console. The charge wouldn't destroy the ship. That wasn't the point. Fear was the weapon. Lights flickered across the dreadnought. Systems glitched. Whole sections of the vessel plunged into darkness. Then came the whispers, soldiers reporting comrades gone missing, patrols vanishing mid-route. A squad of 6 marched nervously through a dim passage. One by one they fell. A flicker of motion, a body dropped, another dragged into the dark. In less than a minute, silence reclaimed the corridor, blood pooling on the steel. Words spread like fire: the ghost is here. On Calcian, a fortress of obsidian stone jutted from the desert. Its walls stood thick, defended by armored turrets, and regiments of alien soldiers drilled for war. They laughed when intelligence reported a single human inbound. The laughter ended when the gates exploded. Anya Morozova stormed through smoke and flame, rifle cracking with precise bursts. She moved like a storm-given flesh, cutting down guards with unrelenting momentum. Grenades thundered, towers collapsed, and panic rippled through the garrison. A towering insectoid commander lunged at her with a serrated spear. She met it head-on, disarming the alien with brutal efficiency before driving a blade through its chest. The troops watching froze. She didn't pause. She seized the alien's dropped weapon and hurled it into another soldier, skewering him against the wall. Her advance was relentless. Not quiet like Voss. Hers was thunder and fury, each strike designed to terrify. Alien survivors fled rather than stand against her. They screamed a name in their own tongue, the word carried like a curse: Baba Yaga. Reports flooded the Alien War Council within hours. On one channel: entire squadron missing on Koratha's spear. No survivors. Another: Fortress Calcian has fallen. 1 human. Entire regiment routed. Panic rippled among the generals. This is impossible, one shouted, mandibles clattering. 2 humans cannot bring down entire strongholds. Another hissed. They are not soldiers, they are myths. They are death itself. General Thrakesh slammed a clawed fist onto the table, silencing the chamber. You whimper like hatchlings. They are flesh and blood. I will crush them myself. Back in the shadows of the dreadnought, Voss watched his handiwork unfold. Fires licked at corridors, alarms finally wailing as reactors sputtered. He moved with calm detachment, planting one more charge before slipping into another shaft. A voice crackled in his ear, low and steady. Boogeyman status. He touched his calm bead. Clean. No survivors. On the other end, Morozova's voice carried faint amusement. Good. I left witnesses. Messy, Voss replied. Memorable, she countered. Neither spoke further. They didn't need to. The soldiers of Koratha's spear reached breaking point. Patrols refused to leave secure compartments. Officers barked orders, but the fear was already entrenched. When the first reactor explosion shook the ship, chaos swallowed discipline. Escape pods fired off in panicked volleys, abandoning the dreadnought before it even burned. Voss watched from the observation deck as the colossal warship went dark, its lights extinguished like a dying star. He left without a trace, just as silently as he had entered. On Kalshan, smoke choked the desert sky. Morozova stood at the heart of the ruined fortress, weapon hanging from her shoulder. Hundreds of alien corpses lay scattered across shattered stone. The ground trembled from secondary explosions. She keyed her comm. Base neutralized. No command structure left. From orbit, Voss's voice responded flatly. They'll call you witch again. Good, she said. Fear lasts longer than bullets. Across the coalition, panic spread faster than strategy could contain it. Soldiers whispered about phantoms in the dark, about the death who could not be stopped. Recruitment faltered. Fleets hesitated to march. Propaganda channels, once mocking, scrambled to explain the inexplicable. In bars on neutral stations, mercenaries refused contracts that involved fighting humans. Not worth it, they muttered. Not against them. On his flagship, Thrakesh seethed. Reports piled around him like ash. His pride, his empire, all mocked by two humans. They call us cowards, he snarled. Now they say we are afraid. No more! He turned to his captains, eyes burning. Gather my personal guard. Prepare the throne of dominance. If Earth wishes to unleash demons, then I shall face them myself. I will crush these legends before the galaxy's eyes. The captains bowed, though their movements carried unease. Fear had reached even the throne. Far from the flagship, on a silent transport cloaked in shadow, Voss and Morozova reviewed their next targets. The table before them glowed with new objectives: fleet command hubs, supply lines, another fortress rumored to house two generals. Morozova leaned back, arms crossed. You realize they'll send everything at us now. Voss adjusted his weapon with cold precision. Then we finish faster. She smirked faintly. Still the optimist. He gave no answer. His silence said enough. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched endless and cold. The galaxy still thought humanity weak, but soon every world would whisper the same truth: Earth's monsters had been set free. The throne of dominance was no ordinary warship. Twice the size of Earth's largest carrier, it was a floating city of steel, engines burning like suns, guarded by entire fleets. Its hull shimmered with runic shielding, its command spire crowned with banners of the coalition. To the galaxy, it was the symbol of alien unity, unbreakable, eternal. Inside, High General Thrakesh paced before his council chamber. His claws scraped against the polished floor, each step a growl of fury. Generals and advisors stood tense, their arrogance frayed by weeks of defeats. You cower! Thrakesh hissed, his voice reverberating through the chamber. You speak of shadows and witches as if children's tales could bring empires to their knees. They are only humans. And tonight I end them. He slammed a talon onto the table, activating a projection of Earth. We will broadcast their deaths across every channel. Let the galaxy see the cowards broken. Elias Voss was already aboard. The Boogeyman had slipped through the dreadnought's lower decks hours earlier, using a service craft disguised as debris. Now, He moved through ventilation shafts and forgotten maintenance corridors, a shadow crawling toward the heart of the beast. Each step brought him closer to the council chamber. Along the way, he left silence in his wake. Guards dropped without sound, systems shut down, doors welded shut to trap panicked soldiers inside. He wasn't rushing. He never rushed. Fear was sharpest when it lingered. Above, the council argued in growing panic. Already, reports trickled in, communications disrupted, surveillance blind. A general shouted, "He's here! The ghost!" Thrakesh snarled. "Then let him come. I will mount his skull on my throne." On the outer hall, a shuttle tore through the last line of defenses, scorched but still driving forward. Baba Yaga emerged from the hatch like a cannonball, her armor dented but her eyes burning. She landed hard on the deck, rifle spitting fire as alien guards swarmed. She didn't slow. Every movement was forward, unstoppable. She fought with brutal efficiency, breaking bone and steel alike. Her advance was thunderous where Voss was silence, two sides of the same legend. Through her calm bead she muttered, "Inside. Cutting my way through." Voss's calm voice answered from the shadows, "Already close." The council chamber shook as Morozova blasted through its grand doors. Smoke rolled into the hall, bodies scattered behind her. She stepped inside, rifle raised, eyes locked on Thrakesh. The alien general rose from his throne, massive frame clad in ceremonial war armor. Twin blades gleamed in his hands. His guards surged forward but froze when she cut down the first two with rapid bursts, her rifle turning them into collapsing husks. "Face me yourself," she said coldly, tossing aside her empty rifle and drawing her combat knives. Thrakesh grinned, a predator savoring the kill. At last! A human with courage! Their clash was instant, steel ringing on steel. His strength was monstrous, every blow forcing her back. But her endurance was relentless, knives darting like vipers, cutting through gaps in his armor. Sparks flew, blood splattered, either yielding. Above them, chaos spread as alien soldiers realized something worse than Morozova was inside the ship. One by one, generals fell in their private chambers. Doors sealed behind them, lights cut, and then silence. Voss moved like a phantom. He poisoned food trays, cut power nodes, strangled guards with cords. Every general died differently, unpredictably, leaving no pattern, only terror. Their last words were never heard, only the echo of silence where orders should have been. By the time he entered the council chamber's upper balconies, the alien high command had already been reduced to a handful. He watched Morozova fight below, her knives sparking against Thrakesh's blades. Her breathing was heavy, wounds bleeding, but she pressed on. He didn't interfere yet. His mission was nearly complete. Systems flickered across the ship as he planted his final override. "Command net offline," he whispered into comms. "Fleet cut from their general." Thrakesh roared, slamming his blade against Morozova's side, denting her armor. She staggered but didn't fall. He pressed harder, snarling, "You are nothing! One human cannot break an empire!" She spat blood and met his eyes with burning defiance. "One human didn't. Two did." Her blade flashed upward, carving across his jaw. He howled, staggering. In that heartbeat, she drove her knee into his chest, forcing him back, then slammed both knives into the gaps of his armor. The giant collapsed, claws scrabbling uselessly against the floor. Voss descended silently from above, boots barely making a sound. He stood over the fallen general, cold eyes unblinking. Thrakesh wheezed, blood spilling from his mouth. His final words rasped out, "Not cowards, demons!" Morozova pulled one blade free, voice like steel. "We warned you!" She drove the knife into his throat. The chamber fell silent. The alien guards who remained dropped their weapons, backing away in terror. No one dared approach. Across the fleet, panic ignited. With the command net disabled and the general dead, captains argued, soldiers mutinied, and entire ships fled. The coalition, once united, fractured in an instant. Broadcasts captured fragments of the chaos. Morozova standing over Thrakesh's corpse, Voss moving like death itself. The images spread before the humans even transmitted them. The galaxy didn't need propaganda anymore. Fear was enough. Hours later, aboard a secure human transport, the two legends sat in silence. Morozova cleaned her knives with methodical care, hands steady despite her wounds. Voss checked his gear, every movement precise. Neither needed to speak. Finally, she broke the quiet. He called us demons. Voss holstered his blade. Good. She smirked faintly, the only trace of satisfaction she allowed herself. Then the galaxy will remember. He didn't answer, but the truth hung between them. They had done what fleets could not. They had turned insult into terror, mockery into silence. Far above Earth, broadcasts from the alien coalition ceased. Fleets retreated to their own borders. No further demands were made. The Council on Earth received reports faster than they could process them. Recruitment in enemy territories plummeted, soldiers deserted, entire sectors refused to fight. Humanity had not become the strongest power in the galaxy, but it had become the most feared. At dawn, in the Colorado base where the decision had been made, General Maddox stood before a wall of screens filled with alien retreat reports. He whispered to himself, "Not cowards! Never cowards!" Deep underground, in a chamber without windows, the legends were debriefed and dismissed back into the shadows. Their names would never appear on official records. Their existence would remain deniable. But in the whispers of alien taverns, and the nightmares of soldiers, two names would never be forgotten. The Boogeyman. Baba Yaga.